Again, very good morning to you. Kay Burley at Breakfast. A new campaign to start the biggest conversation around mental health in football is taking centre stage at grounds across the country this weekend. The Heads Up campaign is highlighting the power of talking to one another as a way to normalise what often be difficult subjects around mental health. The campaign comes after the news of the TV presenter Caroline Flack's death, which many blame on the scrutiny that she faced in the press and also on social media. Earlier, I spoke to her friend, the actress Stephanie Davis. Let's hear very quickly from her first of all.
I can't really believe that she's no longer here, to be honest with you. It's heartbreaking. And she was destroyed by it all. She had no way to turn, you know, and everyone she was getting death threats. People online bullying, like, that needs to stop. Like, what's happened to us all being kind, humans, helping each other?
Well, Kevin George, former professional footballer turned psychotherapist, is here with us. As one of the things that she was pointing out with Caroline's thought, she was talking about taking understanding into schools and talking to kids. Yep. You do that a bit already, don't you?
Yeah, so I manage a counselling project in the school. The problem that we have is you have children managing this trauma, but then the stress of the staff having to achieve academic results. So then what will happen is if it spills out in their behaviour, you know, usually with boys it becomes quite aggressive, then the staff will usually kick them out of the school, the class, and then eventually the school. So then the cycle just continues. They get abandoned by parents, they get abandoned by the school, and then there's this trust issue. I've worked in prisons where young people, so I should say old people, are in there for young problems, where it's all traced back to childhood. So yes, I think we do need more support for young people, but actually, adults control the environment. I think if we actually give adults therapeutic support, for example, teachers, when they're studying and have it as part of their syllabus, they'll be more mindful and not carry out inflammatory behaviours. So I feel that's what's needed, really.
Talk to me about Soccology. Over the last two weekends, I should say, we've seen the Heads Up campaign at football matches around the country. Tell me a little bit more about it.
So Soccology was a service I delivered across the Premier League, and it was looking at the elements of football that could enhance performance in terms of the technical side, but more from the psychological side, but also around mental health, because there's a lot of bullying that's kind of, you know, packaged as banter in football. And banter's needed because the stress levels and the pressures are so high from young people from the age of 10. So I ended up writing a book about it and getting footballers from all around the world and across generations sharing their stories. And I thought, with the current conversation around mental health, we talk about illness and we don't talk about the whole spectrum, including wellness, and we don't speak about how unique our mental health is. So I wanted to kind of put that message out there and use football as a vehicle. So even though these are footballers, it's actually it's relatable to all of us.
But I'm sure that you appreciate that when people think about professional footballers, it's the world's smallest violin to look for sympathy for you.
Yeah. I understand that and completely, but with these players, it wasn't for people to feel sorry for them, it was for people to understand and then take that into their place of work. So what I was doing is showing different ways how mental health turns up, because, for example, at the moment, where we only focus on illness and there's particular stories, if I was somebody watching on TV, I might think, OK, well, I haven't gone through that, so I'm not depressed, or I haven't experienced that, so I'm not anxious. And I was using that to educate people on mental health. So anxiety, for example, is mismarketed. Anxiety is good and bad. People think it's just bad. And using these stories will actually educate people in terms of managing pressure, in terms of different types of wellness. I had a player talking about, well, Gail Cleese, who played for Arsenal, talking about meditation, how it supported him on and off the pitch. So it's not so much to empathise with them, but it's about people kind of relating to themselves and for staff to take on the responsibility.
And what's your advice about dealing with social media?
I think with social media, it's about, the good thing is you can control it when you go in and go out. So I feel...
Some people can't though, can they? It's like a drug, it's almost an addiction.
Yeah, well then, I feel that we outsource responsibility to social media. So if that's the case, then we have to look at why that is the case. You know, so for someone who probably always goes on there, it's like, well, why do you need to go on there? What are you seeking? If it's a drug, why is that spike in the need to go? That's not social media, there's something before that. And I thought that that's what we do. We outsource responsibility when we talk about, I don't know, if we say, you know, this person done X, social media's to blame. Well, no, actually, the reason why this person's doing that is they've got a bigger platform to do it. People are carrying out these behaviours beforehand. We shouldn't be blaming social media. Social media, sorry, I'm having a tongue twisted.
No.
Social media gives you a bigger platform, but it's not to blame.
And a lot of criticism for the media more generally, newspapers and the like, given what happened to Caroline Flack. Do you think that is reasonable?
It is. It is. I think with Caroline Flack, there's so many elements to it that we don't know. There's only certain quotes that we do know. We do know that she spoke about her depression. We do know that she felt that she couldn't speak to anyone because one of her friends said she was a burden. There was a history that the court case probably sent her, obviously, to doing what led her to doing what she did. But I don't think it's as simple as media and trolls. And also, we all play into that because for celebrities, a lot of them cut off their comments, for example, on Instagram. So on one hand, we can't say, oh, the media, the trolls, because we are all a part of that. There are successful platforms like football fan TV shows who are literally have high levels of engagement, and they get that engagement off of slamming players every week. So there's an incongruence there. We need to make up our mind. What is it? We can't wait till someone leaves the earth and then say, oh my, let's blame them. We all play a part in this.
It's good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Kevin. Thank you.